Hello again, I'm Patrick Rittenauer, as you may have heard, and Regina is still not here. But anyway, it's round 2 of the Premier Challenge in Norwalk, and we have a pretty interesting match for you. It's Eugene Vizel versus Jeremy Shacket. So, let's see, we're just waiting for the teams to come up on screen now, but I think this is going to be a very interesting matchup because I've already faced Eugene's team today, and it's going to be pretty interesting. I can't tell you anything until it gets on screen, but I can tell you now it's going to be very interesting. Eugene's pen stopped working. No, I wish I packed my pens. Oh, there we go. Okay, so we're good now. Eugene has a pen. And all right, here we go. Maybe. Okay, now we're good. So as I said before, I already faced Eugene's team of Incineroar, Manectric, Braviary, Virizion, Aegislash, and Tapu Fini. And Jeremy Shacket is here with Snorlax, Manectric, Incineroar, Fini, Celesteela, and Gothitelle. So yeah, Eugene's team is very interesting because it has Virizion on it, which is not a Pokemon that you see a whole lot, but it can do a lot of stuff, what with Leaf Blade and Stone Edge and its high critical hit chance. But Jeremy's team looks like it's going to be pretty tough because it has the Trick Room mode with Gothitelle and Snorlax and Shadow Tag on the Gothitelle. So Eugene is going to have to find a way to deal with that. And both players saying good luck to each other as the first game of round 2 starts. So we see Eugene on the other end, and Jeremy Shacket sends out Incineroar and Gothitelle. And Eugene answers that with Manectric and Braviary. So now, I think Jeremy can get Trick Room up pretty safely here, but Braviary's Defiant activates. So that's definitely not good news for Jeremy because now Braviary is going to do a whole lot more damage. But it's also trapped in here because of Gothitelle. But I think Jeremy can very easily just fake out one of Eugene's Pokemon and get the Trick Room up, and not have to worry about any of them switching out, except for Manectric, which can Volt Switch on out of here. So, yeah, we're just going to have to see which one Jeremy decides to fake out. If I were him, I might actually fake out the Braviary because... And, yep, that is what he does, because he really does not want Braviary to do a whole lot of damage with that Defiant boost. And, as expected, Manectric just Volt Switches on out of here. And, Eugene is picking his Pokemon, which is that Incineroar, as we see. So now Jeremy's Incineroar is at -2, thanks to Manectric's Intimidate and Incineroar's Intimidate. And, now, Gothitelle gets up the Trick Room, so... Now, I think, I would imagine that Gothitelle probably doesn't have much of an offensive presence, but it's going to have to... But now with -2 Incineroar and Gothitelle on the field, Jeremy doesn't have a very good way of answering that Braviary, which is at +1 thanks to the Defiant. So unless he can double into it somehow... So yeah, Jeremy switches out Incineroar, wanting to reset all those Intimidates. But now Jeremy brings in the Tapu Fini, maybe expecting a superpower into that position. Gothitelle protecting itself, not wanting to take a knockoff from Incineroar or a Brave Bird. But now Jeremy getting that... Eugene getting that Gothitelle right on out of here with Whirlwind. So now he can freely switch out his Pokemon. And Incineroar is... Oh! Incineroar got roared in, which triggered Defiant again. So now Eugene's Braviary is at +2. So its Brave Birds are going to be doing a lot of damage to both Incineroar and Fini. Now Fini is probably going to... If it has Waterium Z or anything, it could maybe go into the Braviary with that, although you would usually want to go into Incineroar with the Waterium Z if he has it. Now, Incineroar might want to knock off any item that Braviary has, but it's not a very good position for Jeremy to be in, because that Intimidate just activated twice on the Braviary, so there's just not a whole lot he can do. And Incineroar going for the Fake Out into the Braviary, not wanting it to do all that damage. And Tapu Fini revealing Hydro Pump, so that goes into what was the Incineroar slot, and that did quite a bit of damage to that Aegislash. I mean, Aegislash in its shield form is a pretty bulky Pokemon, so you usually expect it to take hits pretty well, but I mean, that's a solid 3-hit KO right there. Then again, Fini probably doesn't invest a lot into its special attack, but especially with a move like Hydro Pump on its set, I feel like it almost has to be either Specs or Waterium. We'll see what it is pretty soon, I think. Manectric coming back in, wanting to get the Intimidate on the Incineroar, but also Aegislash wanting to dodge any move from Incineroar because it has 2 super effective stabs against Incineroar, and yeah, Flare Blitz going right into the Braviary. Jeremy just wants to get that right out of the way, because it's the main threat to his team. Brave Bird going in the Fini and just knocking it right out from almost max. And so, yeah, Jeremy is going to have to find a way to get rid of that Braviary and fast. Because if he can't intimidate things with Incineroar, then it's just not a very good matchup for him. But anyway, he brings in the Snorlax, which can threaten lots of damage onto everything at least. But Trick Room is about to expire. Probably. Yep, this should be the last turn of Trick Room, so all Braviary has to do is protect, and it doesn't even have to worry about the Snorlax. It could go for a potential superpower onto it and just get rid of it. Anyway, Incineroar switches out. Jeremy brings the Gothitelle back in, most likely wanting to be able to set up the Trick Room all over again. And Snorlax goes for the high horsepower, which should get this Manectric out of the way. Oh, no, that did not KO. Manectric goes for the Volt Switch again, hitting the Gothitelle. And once again, Manectric just showing that it does not care about Shadow Tag at all. Anyway, whatever Eugene brings in, which is the Aegislash. So now, Jeremy has the Shadow Tag on Gothitelle, but it's not that Eugene is locked in with his Pokemon, it's that Jeremy's Pokemon are trapped with Eugene's Pokemon, because Aegislash can threaten the knockout on that Gothitelle, and Braviary can most likely just knock out this Snorlax before he gets the chance to... Oh, Snorlax has Protect! That will save him from any potential Braviary hits. But now, Eugene's Aegislash is going for the Ghostium Z, which should make quick work of that Gothitelle, and there is no way it's going into the Snorlax slot, so that's pretty safe. Anyway, so now we have to sit here through the Never-Ending Nightmare animation as it hits that Gothitelle, which I would imagine is not going to enjoy taking that at all. Exactly, it just knocked Gothitelle right out, and Jeremy is not going to be able to get Trick Room up again in this whole match. And now, Jeremy is forced to switch out Incineroar and has to give Braviary yet another Defiant boost. And Aegislash does not care that much about it because it's most likely running a special set of sorts. Like, at worst, it would care about getting its damage for a potential Sacred Sword reduced. But either way, I think this is just a good game for Jeremy, because he can't get Trick Room back up for Snorlax, and Braviary just threatens everything with its +3 boosts thanks to all the Defiant. And yeah, Eugene just sends out Incineroar again, pretty much assuring the victory thanks to the Intimidate, and Braviary protecting itself, wanting to conserve all of its hit points, and knowing that Jeremy most likely wants to fake out to try to get it out. And yeah, Jeremy doubled into the Braviary, unfortunately, which means there is nothing he can do. And we saw the forfeit screen earlier, so I think Jeremy realizes this and just knows that there's no way out of this matchup. And yeah, that's game one for you. Eugene just completely sweeping Jeremy. So I think Jeremy has to think about what he has to do about that Braviary. I think he's going to have to realize that bringing Incineroar might not be a very good idea, because Braviary can just keep getting Defiant boosts one after the other. It just keeps going. So now I think Jeremy will maybe. We didn't see Celesteela last game, and it looks like it would be a pretty solid way of handling Braviary, so maybe we'll see it come out this game. But either way, Jeremy is going to have to find a solid way to keep Braviary from sweeping him. Because if he brings Incineroar again, it's just good game, because Eugene will just get to dominate again. And especially with Jeremy having the double Intimidate with Incineroar and Mega Manectric, that is an even worse matchup for Braviary, although Manectric won't care that much about Braviary because it can just threaten super effective damage onto it. So if he brings an Intimidate user at all, it'll have to be that one. Anyway, we see Game 2 starting here, and we see Eugene once again on the opposing side, and Eugene not changing anything about his lead, recognizing that it was a very solid lead for him, and Jeremy recognizing that leading with Incineroar last time did not do him any favors. So he instead leads with Tapu Fini, perhaps recognizing that giving Braviary all those Defiant boosts was just not the play. So anyway, Gothitelle will although Braviary has Whirlwind, and Jeremy is not going to be able to threaten the Fake Out on it, so Jeremy is probably going to have a very hard time setting up the Trick Room, but Tapu Fini may be able to threaten very big damage right away on the Braviary. Because if it has Hydro Pump, it could be Specs, it could be Waterium. We still don't know yet, because last game we only saw it use that one Hydro Pump and then get knocked out right away. Manectric going right ahead and Mega Evolving, but I heard Eugene maybe thinks that might not have been the best move. Braviary going for the Protect, recognizing that maybe Fini wants it out of here. Oh, Gothitelle going for the Ally Switch! He shows that, and now, Manectric goes for Volt Switch into what was the Tapu Fini, but is now the Gothitelle. So, Tapu Fini is safe this turn. But now, what did it go for? Fini went for Moonblast into the Braviary slot, recognizing that, he doesn't want to chance the Hydro Pump miss at all, but he would also like to be able to, but now, there is a mind game here, because he could Ally Switch to dodge the Ghostium, but Eugene could very well predict that and Ghostium into what is the Tapu Fini slot now. So it's that mind game with Ally Switch once more. But anyway, it's looking like Jeremy's Tapu Fini is possibly Specs, especially since he's just switched out. And we do see Celesteela in this game, and it's the Misty Seed Celesteela getting its special defense raised, and so yeah, Jeremy recognizing that Celesteela is stream went out. I have no idea what's going on because the stream is out. But anyway, Jeremy recognized that what's going on. Okay, what happened? Okay, there we go. But anyway, Eugene's Aegislash has a substitute up, and it's safely going for the Shadow Ball against the Gothitelle. Not really caring about it at all. But anyway, Jeremy has recognized that Celesteela is very important to bring to this matchup because it doesn't care about anything that Braviary can throw at it, and it uses the Leech Seed to get any recovery, but Braviary going for the Whirlwind, not wanting to face Celesteela at all. So anyway, we've now seen Jeremy's full team of 4. We have... Oh, and he has Trick Room up with Snorlax on the field. And he has Leech Seed on Braviary, getting Snorlax more health. So now Jeremy is in a very good position here because Snorlax can threaten the entire field. If he has high horsepower, Aegislash is not going to have a good time. And I would imagine that Return would be a very, very threatening thing for Braviary to be facing. Anyway, Gothitelle wanting to protect itself from this Aegislash for another turn. And Snorlax going straight for the belly drum. And so now that is going to be at maximum attack. And now Eugene is just not going to enjoy this matchup at all. And Aegislash going for the Shadow Ball. Oh, but he goes for Whirlwind on the Gothitelle. Perhaps he expected an ally switch or something. But anyway, now Eugene is definitely in a tough spot because Return can threaten the KO on the Braviary, and Braviary can't do a whole lot of damage to what's on the field. And I would imagine that Jeremy has high horsepower, so he could pretty easily make quick work of that Aegislash. And yeah, Eugene recognizing that he wants to conserve Braviary and get the Intimidate on the Snorlax, just sends Manectric out another turn, getting the Intimidate, bringing Snorlax down to +5. But still, he goes for the high horsepower into the Aegislash, so he wants to get that substitute out of the way. And now what is... Oh, Celesteela going for the Leech Seed into that Aegislash to get the recovery on it. And now Eugene going for the Ghostium Z, presumably into the Celesteela slot, with Eugene recognizing that Celesteela just walls the Braviary, and he probably wants it to just disappear. And yep, it goes right into the Celesteela, so we'll have to see how much damage this is going to do. I would imagine that Jeremy's Celesteela is pretty specially defensive, and it just barely survives with 12 hit points, and then getting more thanks to the Leech Seed, although still, it's only at 32 hit points. But now, both of Eugene's Pokemon are not in a very good position because they're both threatened by Snorlax's high horsepower, and depending on what move Celesteela has, Jeremy could very easily just take care of both of Eugene's Pokemon that are on the field right now. So this is a very interesting turn, but of course Celesteela now just switching out for the Gothitelle, not wanting to sacrifice itself quite yet. Eugene protecting the Manectric, maybe recognizing that it wants to be saved for a while, and Aegislash goes into the Shadow Ball on that Gothitelle switch in, which takes it right out. So it was a very good position for Jeremy, but I think Eugene just made the solid read, recognizing that he probably wants to get Manectric out of the way to prevent any further Intimidate Volt Switch shenanigans. And now we see Tapu Fini take the field once more, and so I would be expecting to see Jeremy attempt to get the Aegislash out of the way and the Manectric with one fell swoop, but it's going to be tough because Aegislash can very easily use King's Shield and just completely changed that, and I think that is what we see now. And as expected, Aegislash went straight for the King's Shield, so we'll have to see if Jeremy made that read. Ooh, Eugene went for the double protect, and Snorlax went for the return on the Manectric, and ooh, we are seeing Waterium Z come out from Tapu Fini. But since both opposing Pokemon protected, it's not going to do a whole lot. Even coming off of Hydro Pump, it's just not going to. It's not going to take out this Aegislash, because it'll do a quarter of what it normally does. And yeah, that was barely any damage. But now Aegislash loses some health thanks to the Leech Seed. So, and Trick Room runs out, and Jeremy's Gothitelle is no more. So maybe if Snorlax can sweep through this without Trick Room, then I'll have seen everything. But anyway, we'll probably have to see Tapu Fini try to take out the Aegislash with Hydro Pump, and Snorlax hope to get that Manectric out of the way. But now Jeremy is just not in a very good position anymore. Oh, and Manectric reveals Snarl, reducing any damage that Tapu Fini can do. So now, and Aegislash dodges the attack, so I don't think, I'm not sure how Eugene will play his way out of this one. Aegislash going for the Shadow Ball into Fini, and that does a pretty good chunk considering it's Tapu Fini. And Manectric is now off the field, so no more needing to worry about Snarl spam for Tapu Fini. And Jeremy still has the Celesteela in the back for Braviary, although it's at very low health, so I'm not sure how Jeremy plans on playing around that Braviary. And now Incineroar comes out, getting another Intimidate on Snorlax, bringing it down to -4. And now, once again, Snorlax could go for high horsepower on either of these Pokemon, but he would most likely want to go for the return on the Incineroar. And Eugene, recognizing that Aegislash is pretty threatened by the high horsepower, and switches it out. Fini is protecting, maybe expecting the... Oh, Jeremy protects both Pokemon, probably in anticipation of the incoming Fake Out, and not wanting to play any games. So that was a very, very safe play from Jeremy, which he needs to make right now, considering the tough spot he's in, with belly drummed Snorlax, but no way to get Trick Room back up. And so now Tapu Fini could possibly threaten this Incineroar, but it just used its Z move, so it's going to have a much harder time with that. Hydro Pump could miss, or if it hits, it might not even KO. But we could see Jeremy double into that slot, although he tries to get the double protect. And Fini goes for Moonblast, and Incineroar revealing Low Kick, doing a lot of damage to that Snorlax. And Jeremy's Snorlax does not have Recycle, so he has no way of getting his berry back. So next Low Kick is game over for Snorlax. And after Snorlax is out, Jeremy just has that low HP Celesteela in the back, so I'm not sure how he plans on getting out of this one. Oh, it's a tough matchup for Jeremy, indeed. Tapu Fini protecting itself, maybe not wanting to take Brave Bird, which is what happens, and Incineroar going for the Low Kick again to take out the Snorlax, and it looks like that is lights out for Jeremy's team, because the best hope is a -1 Hydro Pump from this Fini taking out that Incineroar, and I'm just not seeing it. And that Celesteela is at low health, so any attack from Incineroar will just knock it right out. So I think Jeremy is just out of this, and best bet is for him to get rid of that Incineroar and hope he can take something from Braviary. But I'm not seeing it right now. I'm just, yeah, it's gonna be. Oh, Fini goes for the Hydro Pump into the Incineroar, but it does not knock it out, thanks to Incineroar's pretty big bulk and the -1 from the earlier Snarl. And Braviary going for the Brave Bird right into the Feeny slot, and Celesteela going for the Flare Blitz, but he doubled into the Feeny. That's interesting. So is Jeremy trying to get this with Celesteela? It's a very unlikely situation, especially because Incineroar just showed its berry, so Jeremy would need a lot of protects to get out of this one, and that's just not likely. It's just not gonna happen. I don't think. If it does happen, if he gets all of the protects that he needs to stall out this Incineroar, and it looks like he's playing that game, then I'll have seen everything. And I have seen an old match where Blissey got 8 protects in a row against Infernape, so I've seen it all already. But yeah, I think Jeremy is playing to his win condition, but it's just so unlikely. And yeah, Jeremy not even going for the second protect, and instead just. Yeah, that's good game. That is good game because Celesteela is out. And Celesteela is down and out. And yeah, I think Eugene just had the matchup here, because he had the Braviary to just prevent Jeremy from using his double Intimidate core to its fullest. And Jeremy not recognizing that he really needed to bring Celesteela for that Braviary. I mean, yeah, both very good players, but I think Eugene just came out on top of this matchup. And oh, hi Nathan. But yeah, anyway, very good games from both players. Hi. Anyway, very well played by both players. I think Jeremy made the best with what he had, but it was just a very tough matchup for him thanks to Eugene's Braviary. Anyway, we'll see you soon for round 3.